moments later as I needed to let that charge for a little bit, but let's do a sound check. This is this video without a microphone. And this is the video with the microphone on. Do you notice any difference on your end? Is it better? Is it worse? If you could please give me just like a quick feedback in the comment section, I would really appreciate it. But let's start things from the beginning. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming back on my channel. What is this? Video number 4? Yay! It is the morning of April 14th, and it's one of those mornings when the sun is actually not just bright, but warm. I didn't realize just how much I missed that. I sat outside for a bit with my coffee, watching the birds. We have several cardinals and robins, a few chipping sparrows that they love to be around in this nearby trees. And since most of the trees are still bare at this time of the year, it makes it easier to spot the birds, especially those beautiful red cardinals. What a sight to see. There's also this magnolia tree somewhere like in the distance, but I can kind of peek at it from my window and it's blooming. There's just something about that. I love spring so much. The light in the room was really soft just a few minutes earlier, and I try to capture some of that on video. I can go on and on and on and on about this. I love these mornings when I'm home, taking it all in. It's so nice. I do hope you can hear me better now. I'm actually a little nervous using this microphone because I've never used anything like this before, and I don't really know if I set it up correctly or if I was supposed to play with the settings. So there is quite the chance that I'm here talking and talking and talking. It's gonna be like what, 10, 15, 20 minutes later, and then I'm gonna look back at this recording and watch me, I'm gonna realize I was on mute this whole time. But let's hope that's not the case. And if it is the case, we'll figure it out. I am not at work today. Yay! Which honestly feels a bit like a small miracle lately, given like how demanding work has been. But things can't be that easy, of course. There had to be a catch. I'm not at work right now, but I am on call. I haven't really talked about this on my channel here, so I don't really expect you to know, but to give you some context, I do work in healthcare and my job involves being in the operating room for the full duration of the surgical case. Like, no, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a surgical scrub, but I do have to be present throughout the entire procedure for me to be able to provide my services. Sometimes cases get booked last minute, and that's when they ask the call person to come in. Another reason could be sometimes like emergent cases get added, so then the call person has to go as well. The problem is that there's not really a way of knowing what the day is gonna look like. So it comes with a lot of unknown. Maybe I'll talk about my job another time. I didn't want it to be the focus of today's video. What I've been thinking about lately and what I want to explore a bit today is just this, it's just how unpredictable time can feel, especially when something can come up at any moment and shift your entire day. And I think because of that, even when you technically have some free time, it doesn't always feel like it's fully yours. Maybe you can relate to this. Sometimes you have the free time, half an hour here, a few minutes there, but it's not really enough to start and finish something properly. Oh my God, my arm hurts. Or maybe you do have the time, but you don't have the energy to do whatever you were hoping to do. Or maybe you're not in the right mindset. You know what I'm trying to say? Even though the time is there, it doesn't always feel usable in the way that maybe you planned for or you imagined. And I think a lot of people experience this in different ways. Maybe for you, it's work as well. Maybe it's other responsibilities or just like the way your day is structured. Sometimes your time doesn't fully feel like your own, and has been my case too, especially when I'm on call. I've been with my current job for a little over, I don't know, let's say 3 years. And when I first started taking call, I really, really, really struggled with days like this because I didn't really know how to handle this unpredictability. I was so uncomfortable knowing, not knowing what's going to happen with the day. And me trying to treat these days like a normal day off didn't quite work. I also couldn't treat them like a regular work day. So it was this in-between situation that I just I didn't know what to do. And not surprisingly, I would end up doing nothing. I really didn't like that feeling of being stuck in the waiting mode. And what really got to me was that I hated when the day passed, when I wouldn't get called in, and I knew I wasted a whole day when, I already struggled to find some time for the things that I enjoy. So I don't know if this helps anyone, but what I started doing is like kind of keep a small list of things, a list that I can pick from depending on, my energy level, my mood, the time of the day, and so on. Just think that I can pick up and put down that don't need to be like finished in one go. Maybe it's reading, so I have a book on my nightstand ready to go. Maybe it's like stretching or organizing a kitchen drawer, going for a quick walk, things like that. Nothing revolutionary. But sometimes I even set things up for my future me. We have a paint my number on an easel upstairs. Or maybe I leave a crochet project or a unfinished Lego project on the coffee table or by the couch. This way, I don't have to think too much about it. And when I have a bit of time, I can just start something that I know it already feels good to do. And I thought today's video would be exactly about that. Just the idea of using time as it comes. I spent, my arm hurts so bad. Maybe I can change. My God, I have no upper arm strength. What was I saying? Yes, I thought that maybe today's video would be exactly about that. Just this idea of like using time as it comes. I spent a few quiet minutes earlier in the morning enjoying the start of the day. Now I'm here talking to you and we'll see what the rest of the day looks like. And I'll take you with me if you would like to join. Everybody, the thing happened. We got called in. Well, I got called in the middle of my conversation with you in the previous clip. And how funny is that? Because the whole point of this video was to kind of like show you guys what it's like to be on call and have this unpredictable schedule and not quite know when things are happening, and try to figure out like what are some little activities or stuff that you can fit in with this unpredictable time. And I guess I am grateful because I was able to enjoy my morning. I woke up, I had some breakfast, I had some coffee, I spent some time with my person. You guys saw it. We were outside, we were admiring the birdies. I even got to open the package with you and test the microphone. Can I go? Can I go? Thank you so much. Although I did have a few more packages I wanted to open with you, but maybe we can do that later. Hopefully this case is not too long and we'll have time to do a few more things together. But speaking, the microphone, I'm not wearing it right now because I didn't want to lose it in the car. It still needs to charge. It wasn't fully charged. So right now you're not hearing me with the microphone. I'm curious if you notice a difference. Of course, I'm in the car, so there's a lot more noise. But, sir, could I please get in? Thank you. If you would be so kind to let me know if you notice a difference, if it's worth it or not. I could technically still return it if it doesn't help us at all. But if it makes any kind of improvement, even slightly, we'll keep it. It's not too hard to use. My goal is not to end this video right here. So if we have more time after this case, we'll do a few more things together. And if not, then we'll pick it up on a different day. It's fine. I'll keep you guys posted. From a slow morning to like suddenly being at work, and then here I am back home again. It's just the nature of these days. But you got to experience it with me in real time, so That's exciting. Let's see what else happened. I stopped and I got gas on my way back home. It's something that I don't really like doing, especially after a day at work. All I want to do is just come home. But I always thank myself the next morning when I get in the car and I'm not on empty. I think what makes it hard right now, I don't know, going to the gas station can be quite emotionally draining, especially now when something like a quick stop at the gas station can make you think really deeply about how much is going on in the world. And a lot of it feels heavy and it's overwhelming and it's wrong. Yeah, not the most pleasant experience. Gas prices are up and that doesn't help either. So, not to change the subject, but with so much happening out there, maybe that's part of why I was like so drawn to NASA's like Artemis 2 mission. Took place from, what was it, like April 1st to April 10th. Yeah, what did you think of it? Like, what are some of your thoughts about that? Because for me, it was really refreshing to see something that felt so collaborative and so human, being like front and center for a little bit over there. Like, we had science, we had art, we had curiosity, we had collaboration, we had highly capable, smart humans, like emotionally intelligent people, awesome people overall, working together and representing all of us. For me, at least, that was a needed reminder that we can actually be on the on the same team sometimes. And man, don't get me started on the pictures that they took out there. Like, so incredible. And what a way to put things into perspective, right? I can probably place a link in the description box to take you to NASA's website to see all the pictures. I'm sure they're gonna update it now that the crew is back. I had to take a look at it and I have my favorites. And you'll notice that some of my favorite pictures are also the ones that took this thought of space and universe and our planet and solar system just like floating into the abyss and juxtapose it to something tangible, something human. I love those photos where like the glare from the window is noticeable. I love the pictures where you can see the spacecraft, where you can see like the nuts and bolts and the tape and of the capsule. What are some of your favorite pictures? There are so many good ones out there. I love the picture with the Earth where you can see the aurora borealis, where you can see the Earth shine on the moon. Oh, there's so many great pictures. And how crazy it is to think that these people saw all that with their own eyes. And what I can't stop thinking is not only they got to see it with their own eyes, they got to come back to Earth safely, thank goodness. And I'm sorry, did they go back to their day-to-day life? What? That's crazy. That's awesome, but crazy. There's nothing more to say. Uh, oh, and I guess here's the transition that I didn't plan for, but it kind of works, right? Since we're talking about like day-to-day stuff. I actually have a few packages that arrived recently and I thought that we would open them together. Don't expect much. This is nothing exciting, but I've been needing a few basics lately, so I thought I would place an order. I don't really do big shopping hauls or anything like that. I actually rarely buy clothes to begin with. And when I do, it's usually because I feel like my closet just needs like a very, very small refresh. And even then, I try to be quite intentional with what I pick and choose. But yeah, let's see what this looks like. I do know what I ordered. Oh, this might be a little loud. I'm not trying to make too much noise. Nah, let's see. I might have to cut this when I edit the video. But let's start with this one. I told you this has only basics, but I ordered this cotton pajama. I obviously need to wash it first, but it's a long sleeve pajama, 100% cotton. The colors are basics, greens and yellows. I think they work fine with my warm complexion, but who cares? I'm going to use them in bed. And then they have long pants. It feels very nice and comfortable to touch. It's actually the second pair that I ordered. The first one that came in had like a big slit in it. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but I was able to return it and get a replacement. So I will wash this and you might see me in the future wearing it. Moving on to the next package. We have more basics over here. Oh yes, I remembered. I ordered this shirt, clearly not because of the design, but because of the material. It said on the website that it's like 50% cotton and 50% silk. And I do try to lean more towards natural fibers if I am to buy something. If I can avoid it, I would love to avoid plastic and polyester and stuff like that. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but if I can do it, I will try to do it. With this one, clearly it's the material that drew me to it. Looking at it right now, it's a little thin. I think it's gonna be a great summer shirt, but I have to figure out what to wear underneath it because it's a little see-through and I don't really like that. But I'll think about it and we'll see what we do with it. This next item is actually why I placed the order to begin with spring being here and the weather being very temperamental. Sometimes it's super hot, sometimes it's super cold. I thought that adding a jacket to my wardrobe would actually benefit me. All right, here it is. Here's my jacket. I hope you can see it, and if not, I might just add the pictures from the website somewhere to the side. But look, it is a brown jacket. I actually like the material. It feels super solid. I don't remember the composition of this. I doubt it's all natural fiber. I'm sure it has some polyester in it. Actually, let me see if I can get that information for you. It's 64% polyester, but it does have 36% cotton. So there's that. You know what I like about it? I like the color. That actually what drew me to it. As you can see, I'm in a brown kind of mood. I envision that it's going to be very easy for me to incorporate it with the rest of my clothes. I will try it on and hopefully it fits nice and I get to keep it because I actually like the way it looks. My only worry is that it could be a little too oversized, and that's not the kind of look that I typically lean towards, but I will try it on and I'll keep you posted on whether or not we keep it. And then last but not least, this is a shirt. This is not a pure white, it's more like an ivory. This one is very similar in the way that I picked it specifically because I liked how simple it is, yet it's very elegant. It has this like embroidery details on the top right shoulder and also on the bottom left part of the shirt. It looks like some of those embroidery details and flowers. You can also find them on the arm. I really like the way it looked on the model, although that doesn't really say anything. Like I have to also try it on. I envision being able to like dress it up or dress it down, which is more like my style. If I can find it, I will let you know the material composition. This is 79% viscose, 21% polyamide. So semi-synthetic fibers and then synthetic fibers. So I could have picked better. This also feels a little oversized. Maybe I should have gotten a medium instead, but I will not know until I try it on. One more thing I wanted to open today with you. We're done with the clothes. That was it. This is more important, actually. Let's open it. We have a book. It's called 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. It says 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think, the global bestseller and social media phenomenon. It's a collection of the author's most beloved pieces of writing. Her meditation include why you should pursue purpose over passion, embrace negative thinking, see the wisdom in daily routine, and become aware of the cognitive biases that are creating the way you see your life. Some of these pieces have never been seen. Others have been read by millions of people around the world. Regardless, each will leave you thinking, this idea changed my life. I actually listened to the audiobook a while back on my commute to and from work, and I found it really fascinating. I liked the way it presented certain ideas and situations in a way that it did make me rethink some of it. It provided perspective, which I think it's the best gift that a book can give you. I even ended up gifting it to a few family members at some point just because I thought it was such an interesting and enjoyable read. And I've been wanting to revisit it for a while. I'm not comfortable. I've been wanting to revisit it for a while, but this time I knew that I really wanted the physical copy. That's why I ordered it. There's just something about having like the physical book and being able to actually like look through it slowly and maybe review certain paragraphs if you want to if you want to go back and read it again, underline things, write in the margins, have that kind of exchange or I don't know, conversation with the text over time. I know some people are really against writing in the books or bending them or leaving any kind of marks. However, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, especially since I own the book. It's not the property of a library, it's not someone else's property, it's mine. And in fact, because it's mine, doing all that stuff with it, it adds my personal human touch to it. To me, books are meant to be experienced, and I think, just one second, there it is. We learn better when we engage as many of our senses as possible. You read with your eyes, and then you listen with your ears, and you write with your hand, and you even speak your ideas out loud. Like, after all that, something is bound to stick. This is the book right here. I'm excited to go over this once again, and I actually think this is how I'll spend the rest of today. It's going to be with this book, which means that I will end this video over here. I know I tend to talk quite a lot, but honestly, that's also what drew me to YouTube instead of like the short form content like Reels and TikTok. I really want to build a connection and get to know you, and I think that starts with me sharing some pieces of myself, my thoughts here. I, as always, am really, really, really grateful if you've stayed with me through the entirety of this video. I hope you found something interesting or maybe helpful, or at the very least, I hope that I was able to keep you company for a little while. Thank you again so much for being here, and I really look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Bye!